wow, that is a terrible impression of Venom. Let's just get on with the review. So Venom is the adaptation to the comic book character in Spider-Man 3. Now we have a standalone Venom movie starring Tom Hardy. So Venom is directed by Ruben. I cannot say his last name, but the guy who did Zombieland and who is hooked on to do the Zombieland sequel because that's in the works right now. There's a Zombieland 2. So what do I like in Venom? The Eddie Brock and Venom dialogue is awesome. Tom Hardy can hear Venom's voice in his head, but no one else can, and that leads to some entertaining and funny scenes. I like the conversations they had, along with Eddie having to have a straight face while talking to someone else. The other thing I really enjoyed was, of course, the obvious Venom when he comes out and takes over Eddie's body. That makes for some great action sequences, even though there's not a lot of action scenes with Eddie in the symbiote. But when it is Eddie in the symbiote, it is damn entertaining, people. I also found Tom Hardy was a great choice as Eddie Brock. He acts like Eddie Brock should and would, and for that he made for a great character. I mean, say what you want about Tom Hardy. I mean, he has the charisma in this role. Like, there's a couple scenes where he's just freaking out and he's going insane. Like, he's eating food quickly and he's blacking out. He also has a relationship with Annie. And that was a well explored relationship. So when Eddie breaks up with Eddie, you feel emotion. You feel like Eddie is a broken man. You feel like he has nothing worth living for because Eddie was that girl for him that was putting the man inside him back together. And when she breaks up with him in the halfway point of this movie, like you feel like there's nothing he can do because he's a broken man. But then Venom comes along and kind of fixes that and because then he has something else to worry about, and that's Venom. Because if you didn't already know, there's a lot of problems that he has to focus on besides his girlfriend, and that leads me right to my next point, my next like, and that is Michelle Williams. Like, she is Eddie's girlfriend in this movie. The character's name is Annie, and damn was she hot. She is great to look at. I mean, her acting in this was good. Like, the relationship between Eddie and Annie was a relationship that you cared for. And I thought those two had a bonding together. And when, like I said, when they broke up in the halfway point, like I said, you feel emotion, like for both of them. You feel like there's more pressure pushing on Eddie's side, and there's because I don't really want to tell this, but Annie's come with another guy, and that kind of just puts more pressure on Eddie's character, and that's why you feel more sympathy and emotion for Eddie's character, is because he's going through a hard time first of dealing with the symbiote, and along with dealing with this relationship and that Annie is with another guy. But along the way, there's some comedic moments thrown in there. So one of the dislikes that I have is like there's those comedic moments. This is with a lot of Marvel movies like Guardians of the Galaxy 2 and Spider-Man Homecoming and all that. Is that there's those comedic moments in places where they're not needed when it's supposed to be like a serious conversation, but then Tom Hardy has to go ahead and throw a joke in there and just makes it seem just it's like oh wow, he doesn't even care about this. It's like there's those kind of jokes throughout it, but we're still talking about the likes, right? So let's finish talking about them before I talk about the dislikes. The fifth thing that I like is the special effects. You can tell with the budget they had, they used a lot of it to make Venom look realistic, and I think they did a great job making Venom look real and making him and making him more of a fleshed out character, along with the other symbiotes that are in this movie. Because you know we have Riot as the villain in this, and I did not find him terrible as as a villain. Like he could have we could have had more of a stronger villain, but I think for what we had, he did feel like a threat at points, right? But it's like I mean I could have gone for Carnage as a villain because I think he was going to be the original villain for this movie. But Roy, I mean his character was okay, but I know he just didn't really feel like a threat. He just didn't feel like the one that was going to end the world. And that's kind of his character's like main point is he wants to like end the world. He wants to destroy the world, and these symbiotes have supposed to like long after like humans are gone off the earth. These symbiotes have supposed to save us. They're supposed to like when we die. That this is the one thing that was supposed to protect us and all that. And it's, so he definitely has a motive, but I don't think the motive it works that well. I just thought we could have gone for a stronger villain because the character, like I said, the villain just really did not feel much of a threat throughout the film. There were points where he did feel like a threat, but I mean, I think overall he is kind of a forgettable villain because he's not really in the movie a lot. He's kind of like there in the background and all that. Yeah, really, I think he was a fine villain for what we got, but I could have gone for a more stronger villain, a more fleshed out villain, and his motive could have been a little bit better. But like I said, it was fine for what we got. And there's also an after credit scene, which is one of the highlights to this movie, and I am looking forward to the sequel, people, because that after credit scene, whoa, as in whoa, that mm, that was. I mean, I could see it happening, but man, it gets me pumped for the sequel. That after credit scene, because I was hoping for that to happen in this first Venom movie, and apparently Venom has planned to have multiple sequels. Like they're planning to make a universe, so they're making a Venom 2, a Venom 3, a Venom 4, a Venom 5. Because apparently Tom Hardy has already signed on for like a 5 movie, plan. A 5 movie plan for this Venom universe that they're making right now. Yeah, there's also a second after credits scene, which is cool. It's a cool like 5 minute sneak peek to another Marvel-related Spider-Man movie, which is coming out later this year. So overall, Venom was a fun time at the movies. Tom Hardy was a great choice as Eddie Brock in Venom. The movie had some really cool action, great conversations between Venom and Eddie Brock, great storytelling. I mean, I like the story that they chose to take with this character. I thought the story they told was a perfect story to flesh out Eddie Brock and Venom as a character and the dialogue. But I think where my problems come in is I think the dialogue could have been a lot better. They could have got a lot more stronger villain, and a villain that actually felt like a threat and felt like he meant a lot to the story. But this villain Roy, he was okay. Like I said, he was a fine villain for what we got. I mean, he didn't take me out of the movie or anything, but I just could have gone for a more stronger villain, I guess. I mean, overall, yeah, like it's like I said, it's a fun time at the movies, and I think my only problems with with this movie is it could have been rated R, and the dialogue, it's it's not great. I mean, and they kind of throw in some comedic moments at the wrong point, and I didn't really laugh that much in this movie. I mean, there were a couple of scenes where I smirked, but I didn't really like laugh out loud like the rest of the audience. The rest of the audience seemed to be laughing a lot more than me. 'Cause I was just yeah, I was kind of like just kind of like under my breath. I was just kind of I wasn't laughing out loud like the rest of my audience did. But I mean, because like the jokes, some of them did land pretty well. I will not lie. And that's why, like Eddie Brock, he was such a human character in this, is because he really balanced those comedic moments with serious moments. And I really like that because I think it's a very human thing to do, is to really have comedic moments when it's needed. And I think, like when the movie began, I thought the comedic jokes that were working fairly well, but then towards the end, they kind of, they were kind of just, they were kind of just down a little bit. They weren't working that well, but yeah, it wasn't really any joke that really made me like laugh out loud. Because the audience seemed to be at least my audience for my theatre seemed to be having a great time, and they were laughing out loud. But I was just kind of laughing under my breath, like, and sometimes I was just smirking. This isn't the most funniest Marvel movie I had, but it definitely does have some laughs in there for sure. So that's why I would say Venom is enjoyable. Because I mean, this was on my most anticipated list, and like so, the only problems um, that I had was it could have been rated R. Some of the dialogue could have been a lot better, and I just thought, I mean, the comedic moments just didn't really make me laugh out loud that much. Like, I mean, some of them did work fairly well. Like towards the beginning of the movie, I thought they were well thought out and I thought they were well set up comedic jokes, and they did start working at the beginning, but none of them really just made me laugh out loud. I was just kind of laughing under my breath, like like that kind of thing. I mean, it's an enjoyable movie. So yeah, I can't see what critics are on about with this movie, because this is a fun movie. Could have gone for a rated R, but besides that, and some of the dialogue, it could have been like a lot better. But it's a fun movie, like overall. So anyways, guys, have you seen Venom? What did you think of it? Let me know all that down in the comment section down below. So anyways, guys, I hope you have a good night, and I'll see you in the next movie review.